This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ, or Iglesianicristo.
Good afternoon, good evening, aloha to all the brethren around the world. Thank you for tuning in and welcome back to another episode of INCRadio Hawaii-Pacific. For those of you who don't know me, I am Brother Bruce Tan and one of your hosts tonight, and I'm from the local congregation of Kunia. As you can see, I'm not alone. On my right, we're lucky to have our guest that we will be introducing him later on in about a few minutes. On my left is our co-host tonight, and she is our lovely sister who's very lucky that I've been working with tonight.
Oh, brother.
And take it away.
Hello, everybody. Happy Aloha Friday. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of INCRadio Hawaii-Pacific. I am one of your co-hosts for this evening, Sister Janae, from the local congregation of Eva Beach. Go Eva Beach. Hashtag EWA stands for hashtag Eva. Everybody should comment that down. Also, speaking of that, please do not forget to write down your hashtag for your local. Very happy to be here, especially with Brother Bruce, our guest for this evening, which we will also introduce. Should we introduce him already, Brother Bruce?
Oh, yes.
Yeah? Okay.
We're so lucky to have Brother Frank to be here this evening and to share his passion and area of expertise. So, Brother Frank, can you tell us what's your name, where you're from, and give us a fun fact about yourself?
Certainly. Hello, everybody. Aloha. My name is Brother Frank Bermudez. I'm from the locale of Kaneohe. And an interesting fact about myself. An interesting fact about myself is that I love to do Sudoku every now and then.
Wow.
And word puzzles, kind of keeping my mind as best I can. And yeah.
I actually never really know how to play that Sudoku. Yeah, I just put any kind of numbers because I don't know the rules to the game. So how does it, like, have you ever played Brother Bruce?
It's somewhat very tricky because there's a different level. There's easy,
Yeah.
medium, and hard.
Yeah.
I tend to know how to do the easy ones, but when it comes to the medium or hard, it tends to be very tricky. And sometimes it makes my head hurt.
That's what I try not to get too advanced with it because it does make the brain hurt sometimes. But if even like crossword puzzles, there's simple types of games that kind of keep my mind active the best I can.
Yeah, and a good way to just simply take care of yourself and relax, especially after like a long day of work, right? Yeah, okay. Thank you, Brother Frank, for joining us tonight. Before we head on to our topic of the evening, let's actually read a couple of comments here in the YouTube. Okay. Brother Bruce, would you like to start?
Yes. From Sister Andrea Sunga, happy viewing po from hashtag Honolulu. We also have Sister Annabelle Reconsana, happy viewing from Eva Beach. We also have Sister Regine So excited po for tonight's episode for INCRadio Hawaii-Pacific. Kamat Daniel Martinez, happy viewing. We also have Sister Corinne Joyce Alagar for Natya. Happy
Oh.
Aloha Friday. Tuning in from Wailuku, Maui. Yeah.
Woo! Wailuku. Hello, fam. I miss you guys. Okay, thank you, Brother Bruce. Okay, now moving on to our topic of this evening. In this broadcast, we'll be talking about Brother Frank and his occupation in United Healthcare and his oh wow, it actually says here you're actually pursuing your master's in health informatics. Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay. So first question, brother, what is your current position in your workplace?
I'm a senior operations business coordinator with United Healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess what it entails is pretty much overseeing the Medicaid members that come in and helping them get onboarded properly, and so overseeing that side of our memberships.
Awesome. So what made you go into like choose this job?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting the way kind of the journey works with career sometimes, and this was just so happened to fall in the lap, if you will. It's I was uh, just with a friend of mine that after COVID, just I was helping with the COVID testing center at the airport, and with things closing down, just where do I go? And so um, with United Healthcare and just having the opportunity, I did run into there was a former coworker of mine that saw my application and just, hey, is this you? And so that's how it kind of unfolded. But um, healthcare and fitness and wellness has kind of always been something of mine that I try and be as passionate
Mhm.
with. So
Okay, so and seeing that you are a senior business operations, you kind of just built your way up there, pretty much. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. What? Oh, brother Bruce. Next question. What do you?
Yeah, so I'm glad that you mentioned about healthcare,
Mhm.
but what inspires you to work for United Healthcare, particularly? I mean, there's so many other healthcare fields
Yeah,
that you may go to, but why United Healthcare? What strikes your interest about their company?
the the company itself, it's known to be one of the largest or the largest healthcare provider that's out there. So the way that United Healthcare has positioned itself in being able to revolutionize the the healthcare system in a way where it's bringing higher performances to members. So being able to, for instance, the I mentioned the Medicaid system, Medicare, and how we're able to help members, for instance, have benefits that are not only given to them on a monthly basis, where they're able to make purchases on certain healthy products, and at the same time, the card that they use, they're able to check in their doctor's appointments.
Mhm.
So, we have the Lolas, you have the Kapunas, the elderly. They have to jumble all the cards, and it gets very frustrating sometimes. So, just certain ways, simple, like things like that, where you know making it simple for our members.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. We are like you try to think about the elderly, our kupuna, our lolas, our grandpas, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And seeing that you care for them, and we try to do as much as we can to make it simpler. What um and it obviously has something to do with like the community, right? So what role does United Healthcare have in trying to maintain a proper maintaining proper health for people in the community, not just with our elderly.
We, well, United Healthcare also partnering up with the different organizations uh, for instance, the March of Dimes. We have National Kidney Foundation, um, and even exploring out to the different communities. For instance, we have in the Philippines, we have United Healthcare in the Philippines, in Chinatown, and being able to reach out to the Asian community and having numerous interpreters to be able to go to and so those ways where those that are kind of underserved or under I don't know if underserved but like not so focused on or really need that extra attention, that's where United Healthcare is able to really zero in on those communities that
Yeah.
that need that extra attention.
Yeah, I think it's really nice that United Healthcare does that, like having so many different interpreters, especially in Hawaii, because Hawaii is known as like a boiling pot, pretty much.
Right.
Melting pot,
Melting pot.
melting pot, boiling pot,
Rolling melting.
rolling boil, melting pot. Oh man, sorry, that was I knew it sounded wrong, but okay, thank you, brother Frank. But yeah, melting pot of all different ethnicities. So it's really nice to have those. Brother Bruce, what do you think?
I think so too. And for you to be able to reach out to those people in need is very inspiring and at the same time very selfless. And for you to be able to take time and think about other is something that everybody should learn to do more. Because especially in this world, especially in these days, we just need to be caring and have that kindness because that matters now, especially now that we're when people are struggling and experiencing hardships.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in Hawaii, it's quite expensive to even be here. Groceries are expensive. Housing is expensive. So you're definitely gonna need that community to help you, which what United Healthcare does, right? Yeah. So your brother Frank, sorry.
No, absolutely.
Oh, yeah. So seeing that, you love caring for people, you do that through your job. I actually want to ask, what made you want to do to attain a master's in health informatics?
the the program itself it entails it's not only I want a newer degree where you're combining computer science, IT, and healthcare. And so I guess being in part of the generation that I've been a part of, just having that experience in technology as well as healthcare and computers, kind of, it just made sense for me to pursue that in a way where I'm able to help in, for instance, business analytics. There's clinical analytics, there's IT management, there's project management. And again, it's being able to use the data and in a way where it drives opportunity to increase performance in bringing simple healthcare to our members.
That's wow. Yeah, because definitely like I just wanted to ask that because definitely like making the decision to go back to school it's kind of tough, especially when you have a career set, working a full-time job. It's definitely tough. And I feel like it's pretty inspiring to people who think about going back to school. And seeing you tonight on radio, you're used as a role model tonight, to maybe help other people, to tell them that, it's good to further your education if you would like to. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and not only that, especially now, so many technologies are changing, and for you to be able to take time and go back to school and learn those new technology tools to help you move forward is something very commendable. You know, you should be proud of yourself.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And brother Frank, tell us, what role does the United Healthcare have in maintaining proper health for people in the
When it comes to maintaining proper health for the community, it's, for instance, even with we encourage annual wellness exams. Get those in. Getting also health risk assessments completed. Uh, and so you're when you're encouraged to take a little more active approach in our health, it it helps in being able to keep that as a priority. And so I think that's where United Healthcare is is in a position and has done since its inception in being able to to be that to be that face, or to help encourage and remind people, and to give the resources that I mean, it's a complex system. It's very, I mean, it's like law, kind of. They say like the law system is not perfect. I mean, the lawyers out there might be, yeah, I mean, it's not a perfect system. Healthcare is not a perfect system, but that's where I'm also, it may sound cliche, but where I'm like, where the drive is, where if I'm able to bring that complexity into a simple level and provide it to a member and help them, then I fulfilled that purpose. Is how I look at it. And so that's kind of where health United Healthcare is able to give that support to.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I love that. You know, always looking out for the community, pretty much. Seeing that in your job, you try your best to care for the community, help the kupuna, like you said earlier. How do you yourself maintain proper health?
Ooh, yeah, it's when for for my personal program, it's a lot of it. It's common, I guess, tip or that I can give is when you're not feeling it, you know, especially when you're like you're just laying down and you don't want to work out, you don't want to.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I feel good right now.
Definitely got that right now.
Pain and like deal with all that,
Mm-hmm.
but that's the best time to do it. It's when you don't feel like doing it, and you just get up and they say, you know, the motivation, you're not going to get inspired sitting down. You're not going to get motivated sitting down.
Yeah.
That motivation comes when you actually are starting to build.
Mm-hmm.
And you actually get the heart pumping, and and so I say this pretty often, if others have heard it already when I use it, but it's common out there. It's the 5 second rule.
Yeah, no, I've heard of it.
Heard of it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's it's not when you drop food and you can't eat the food with 5 seconds. Not that 5 seconds, but it's the 5 seconds where you're laying down and you don't feel like do nothing. You just and like you want to sleep and you have all these reasons that you don't want to do it, but then you count down the 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and for some reason it works where you're kind of competing with yourself. Mel Robbins, she's a entrepreneur, American entrepreneur. She's the one that is known to develop this, and so she kind of was like sitting down. She was watching the space shuttle go up and the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 thing and blast off. And you picture that. It's like that's kind of the blast off for you to get that willpower or to get that energy to do what needs to get done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've definitely heard of it.
Mhm.
I don't do it, but I feel like I really should, especially with like, because it's midterm season right now, you know, I just get really tired and I don't want to do anything, you know. But I really, it's like, because what went on in my mind is that I feel like you there's times where you tell yourself, okay, I need to be motivated. Let me get motivated first, and then I gotta find that motivation first, and then I'll start working out. What I've been told is like, you can say that, but you gotta just do it, because like, what if you don't end up finding that motivation? Like, you just have to, like that rocket, you just gotta go.
Yeah.
You cannot like hesitate, or Brother Bruce, what do you think?
And I think that's really, really important too, because that 5 second rule is the significant part of it. Because at least you did something rather than nothing.
That's
You
true.
know, and that's why a lot of people need to make sure that we really need to manage our time wisely.
Yes, I agree.
And that's why this is so important, is making sure that you don't miss those little things, because it matters.
Mhm.
That 5 second rule matters regardless,
Yeah.
no matter how busy we are.
Yeah, especially like it just feels good to like at least get something done. Like making your bed. I've heard that making your bed every morning. I actually know someone is Brother Christian. Brother Christian actually told me. Yeah.
I think he was saying that too during the last episode. I think when he was on.
Yeah, always make your bed, and at least your bed is made. You got something done in the day, even if I guess you didn't get to work out. I mean, working out is still pretty important too, but at least you made your bed, and you get home with a clean bed and stuff like that. Yeah.
No doubt. It's sometimes those simple things
Mm-hmm.
you kind of start off with and not get so overwhelmed, and
Yeah.
that's kind of also where we're so mainstream, caught up with comparisons of you gotta chisel abs, the big farms and all. I mean, it's great and all, but at the same time, it's keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like know yourself,
Definitely.
and it's something where it's a lot easier said than done, of course.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I've learned that the hard way many times. It is a lot easier said than done, sadly. Yeah. Brother Bruce, would you
And
yeah, thanks.
Brother Frank, what are some of your tips that you can give when it comes to fitness? Like, what gets you going despite of your busy schedule?
The routine, if it's, I mean, again, a lot of it is once you get the routine down, and I can get kind of philosophical sometimes too. It's like what's the Aristotle saying? Excellence is not an act but a habit, right? So if it's habitual in a way where you kind of have that routine down, it helps. It helps because you just feel as if you're kind of off if you don't do it. But it gets challenging because, of course, with all of our church duties and the responsibilities, we have that devotion to our Almighty God, and to fulfill it. So I think even like for instance in the morning, like if I know I'm going to work out in the morning, in my morning prayer, I add, please help me have energy to pray, to work out. And so things like that can help.
Simple things like that. Yeah. And oh, I'm blanking out. Oh, I'm like, okay. Okay, so definitely when like you work out, right, you get that habit. We know that diet is a big part of working out too. You got to pair your diet with your workouts, because I feel like that's, well, from what I've read and from what I've seen, it's a big part of changing your lifestyle, right? So what are some simple tips that you have to give when it comes to doing a proper diet?
The portions, I mean, it's here in Hawaii, right?
Hey, I can't. Those plate lunches.
Yeah.
Those plate lunches, I can't.
And it's something where it does make a huge difference if we're able to not only control those portion sizes, and even, I mean, there's apps that's out there that you can count your calories, and so the accountability as well
Yeah.
in the diet.
I agree.
And we're such a it's just with our social lives. It's also part of our culture that it's something where it's hard to say no. It's hard to
Yeah,
say
because
no.
if you say no, it's
Yeah.
like they're still gonna give the food to you.
It's like, but yeah, I mean, but at the same time, if we're able to, if we have that portion control
Mhm.
to, um, we eat it then, maybe tomorrow we cut back, or
Yeah.
we kind of balance
Yes.
that out.
Yeah.
So
Save it for leftovers
yeah,
the next day,
yeah, no,
right?
and,
Yeah.
and yeah, it helps. I found that to be pretty helpful. It's just kind of spread
Yeah.
it out, and um,
Do you count your calories though?
I do.
You
It's
do?
with the app.
Yeah.
There's
It's
a
so
new
hard
app.
for
They
me
have a new
though.
app out there.
Oh,
that
is it? Okay, I
is,
gotta ask you after. I'll remember. I'll remember because I definitely gonna need that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Unfortunately, we are running out of time. But Brother Bruce, would you actually like to give the honors to give the last,
Oh yes.
or have the honors to give the last question?
What would you say to anyone who's trying to get healthier? What would be your word of advice or wisdom?
starts in the kitchen.
Oh, meaning like you gotta cook more at home.
So it's how we're preparing our
Mm.
food, and so it starts there when you think of health, being healthier, and and just knowing what we're consuming, and doing the best that we can in that respect. But it's also knowing our why, and understanding why we want to be healthy, and remind
Mhm.
ourselves, and don't worry about the how. I always like, how am I going to get it done? But if you know your why, the how will come.
Yes.
And then lastly,
Yeah.
I feel as if don't forget about wellness, because that can also get forgotten, because you just think of health and fitness, but don't forget your wellness. The wellness portion of it is where you're more aware of not only our limits, but also our maxes,
Mm-hmm.
and if we need to get proper sleep.
Oh yeah, that's a big one. I never do.
So things like that, where it we're able to bring together not only just health, but with fitness and wellness. So um, certainly keep it simple as well.
Yeah, I think wellness. I wish I was told that early on because I actually did. I don't look like it, but I actually did. I kind of did CrossFit like 2 years ago during COVID, and I was so into it. I was getting strong, getting all these PRs, but I didn't really realize that. Okay, I didn't. I wasn't like checking my wellness. I was performing things when I had an injured shoulder. I was doing things when my form wasn't correct. I was like I just I didn't really care for the wellness. I just really loved the health and fitness for it. I loved that I was getting strong, but I had to, looking at it now, I wish I kind of did, because now my shoulder pops every now and then. You'll probably see it. I'll be like sitting still and then it'll just go down. Yeah, it's pretty loud. But I love that you bring that to light because I feel like that is very important.
But when we're in that drive and we're in that mode,
Mm-hmm.
it's like that's what kind of helps when get things done too. And
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
we're taught that, or we're we succeed in that way because we're driven.
Yeah.
But at times that's kind of where that wellness, when the wellness comes in, it gives us that reminder to
For sure.
And I think what I'm happy about what you said about doing this as a habit, consistency is you want to make it as your second nature so that it gets easier as you go along. Because when you really think about it, when you do it consistently, it gets easier because it's your nature already, and it becomes repetitious. So that's excellent. That's really good advice for us. Um, that needs to challenge ourselves on health and wellness. So thank you for that.
No, of course.
Before we conclude the show, just like one shout out maybe, because we are actually cutting close. Just you have a shout out.
it's, I'm gonna have to go back to my shout out to, gosh, my my home locale back in the Bay Area. If I mean, I love.
Everyone's in the back clapping,
I haven't
jumping
been,
with joy.
visited in a while back in the Bay, and you know, they say your heart is left in San Francisco.
Mm. No, but you're here now.
But
so.
I'm here now, so it's kind of like that's what I. So I mean, of course, the District of Hawaii-Pacific it's always close to my heart as
Mhm.
well.
Well, shout out to the
like-
Bay Area.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Brother Frank, for having no, for being with us here tonight,
Oh, yes,
late in the
definitely.
evening. We are so glad to have you. So before we end the show, we actually have one district activity in the month of April. April 27, we're gonna have our CFO day and our band together. Two activities on one day. You heard it right here on INC Radio. And also let us continue to support our local activities. And then last but not least, we do have our special thanks. Special thanks to our Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo, our CFO Coordinator and CEBSI President, Brother Angelo Eranio Manalo, our District Minister, Brother Jem H. Baitan, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Ador Apostol, and our CFO Overseer, Brother Brandon Pacheco. And also in the comments, I actually saw a lot of birthday greetings. Happy birthday to Kajang Baitan. Happy belated birthday. I think it's belated birthday. And also happy birthday to Brother Jian. I think it's also his birthday. Oh, and one more birthday? We have a lot of birthdays, but happy birthday to everybody. Oh, and also Brother Jonathan from Waipahu. Happy birthday to also happy birthday to Sister Sibyl, our other co-host from the other island of other island. No, the island of Maui. Sorry, I'm very mumbo jumbo with my words today. But thank you for tuning in to another episode of INC Radio Hawaii Pacific. We will see you next week.
Take care.
Wash your hands. Drink water. Take care of yourself. Wellness is important.